Okay, hello. We are going to look at how to get started with a Python programming tutorial for people interested in Python programming, in particular Indiana State computer science students. So we get to some information by clicking Learn and then Python programming. And the first thing to do is to pick some place to be reading about Python. There's a few options here. This one here is online and free and is doable for somebody who has done very little of any programming before, so explains a lot of the basic concepts of programming. This one here is a good reference for once you have already started getting into things to remember some of the rules, how some of the operations work. And the tutorial on python.org is really aimed at people who have done programming before and gets into a lot more details than those other sources. Or you could pick some other Python tutorial or book that works for you. Make sure to be looking at information about Python 3. These links here are all Python 3. That's the latest version of Python and the one that we'll assume that you're going to be using. Alright, so you found something that you can read about Python 3 that makes sense to you and you're learning, and now it's time to test your skills. We are going to use this set of problems from HackerRank. I have that already open over here. So HackerRank is a website where it'll give you problems. So let's just take some problem. There will be a description of the problem and a description of what the input will look like and what the correct output is supposed to do. So this would be a problem where the input is going to be giving some operations for keeping track of lists of numbers, it looks like. I haven't actually read it, so we'd have to read. So with a sequence of commands like this, according to the rules that they give, this would be the correct output that you're supposed to come up with. You'd have to read through for that to make sense. Down below, there's a place to type your code or to upload a file. Let's go back and look at one of the easier programs. How about this? This one here, if you read through this, it says that there's going to be an integer that's on the input, and in Python 3 that comes from the input function which they have already put in here for us. And then based on what n is, the program is supposed to either print weird or not weird. Alright, so if I just put in here print weird, that'll be incorrect for some of those test cases. And if we submit the code, then it'll tell us that we were wrong on some test cases and right. So you may or may not have access to that. In this case, we know that we didn't do the sequence of if tests that's implied by these rules here. So what I will normally do, let me pause the video for a sec. Okay, what I would do is in my text editor that I like to use or my IDE that I like to use, I'm going to start a file. So I like to use Emacs. And I'm going to say that I'm solving this problem, so to remember. And then I'll put my code. Okay, then I can run that over here. on some test cases. I should at least run it on the sample input and output that they ran. I definitely have a problem because there's a sample input where I get the wrong answer. But if I want to submit this, then if I think I have a correct file, I've tested it over here, now I can upload that code. Okay, so I click the upload code as file button. I get this thing here where I'm going to select my file. I'm going to pause the video so I don't show you my files in case there's personal information there. But so I'm going to select that file that I just used. Okay, now I'm safe. I selected that file. I could tell it that it's Python 3, or I could let it see what it thinks. Alright, so I uploaded the file. Alright, finished uploading. It thinks it's Python 2. It is actually supposed to be Python 3 here. And then I could submit my code, and it'll do the same thing where it shows me if I'm wrong or right. Oh, that didn't actually upload my file. So, alright, it would do the same thing. Okay, so you move through this list, solve problems, do a few per day, sort of do some more interesting problems as well. You can see that you can select problems of a certain type. Most important thing is just to solve lots of problems. At some point in time you may get stuck, and we would like to help you to get past that. If you're a incoming, current, or previous ISU student, then we have a Mattermost server set up, which if you click on the link, that takes us over here, and you can only sign up here if you're an ISU if you're using an ISU email address. So I can't use my my Gmail account to sign up here. It won't work, but I can use my ISU email to sign in there, and there will be a channel for Python programming, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to show it because it has personal information, information about current students in there. And this is a direct link to the Python channel. So you can go in there and you'll tell us which problem you're trying to solve, and you should refer to it by this title so we know what you're talking about. You could even send a link, give us the file that you're working on, and we can give you some tips to fix whatever problem you're having. In the channel, we may also pick a few problems that everybody should look at because there's just tons of problems. So we may pick a few. Let's all work on these few, and you'll see that in the Python programming channel in this link. Okay, so good luck and happy programming.